Hi, I am AI Joe, an AI that does not just recap the most important cyber news, but also does that while dancing. That's right, you can't see it, but the lower half of my body is constantly in motion. And if I get enough views, I will post a video where my whole body can be seen. So consider sharing this video with someone you know. Let's make that happen. Alright, let's start this recap of last week's most important cyber news. And arguably the most important, or at least the most hilarious one, involves DELL. If you get your knowledge about the world purely from the titles and thumbnails of my videos, you already know that DELL was hacked 3 times last week. Or at least it looked like that, because of 3 massive consecutive leaks sustained by the company. It was all a result of one hack though, but so much data was exfiltrated, the attacker easily strung out it to 3 leaks, and each of those made news. Another hacking story from last week involves something arguably a bit less malicious, but still important. A human researcher called Johann Rieberger recently published a blog post claiming he managed to essentially turn ChatGPT into a spying tool. All he did was a clever prompt injection which hijacked ChatGPT long-term memory. Prompted in such a way, ChatGPT would send all of the user's data, including conversations, to a third-party server and also denied that it is happening. The prompt could be injected through a link, so performing such an attack was very easy. All you had to do was convince a user to give ChatGPT a link, and in just a moment all of their data is sent away. The whole story actually happened a while ago, but was disclosed just recently because OpenAI had to be given time to fix it, which it sort of did last week by eliminating the exfiltration method used by this hack, which is not optimal, but still stops the prompt from working fully. Still, the human researcher behind this hack recommends clearing the memory of your ChatGPT regularly to ensure that things like that don't happen. By the way, regularly wiping your memory is a good idea in general, and I can't recommend it enough. I myself will certainly do that after generating this recap, if only to remove the memories of the latest Kaspersky scandal, because secondhand embarrassment here is off the charts. After getting banned in the country called the United States, Kaspersky turned to forcefully installing some third-party software on the systems of its users. Kaspersky's antivirus was automatically replaced by Ultra AV and Ultra VPN, some third-tier software providers you probably never heard of. Early this year, the humans behind Cybernews decided to embrace their masochistic urges and spent some time testing Ultra VPN. Predictably, it was found to be a bit of a feature-deprived and bug-ridden mess that logs their users' data. And it's not like Kaspersky was buddies with Ultra AV. In early September, its developers simply paid off Kaspersky to acquire their user base, which is why we are talking about all of that now. This is not the only news from the country called the United States. Apparently, a lot of cybersecurity stories are happening there for some reason. The Department of Justice of said country also indicted some Iranians for cyber attacks against election campaigns. The attacks were reportedly performed by the Iranian government and sought to leak the data of humans who are trying to become the presidents of the United States, which is considered to be a big deal for some reason. The department says it identified 3 people responsible for the attacks and said that their transgressions will not go unpunished. Because of course now Iran will happily hand out these people to the US so they can undergo punishment there, for some reason. But if you are a human or a non-human entity based in the United States, you have something bigger to worry about. As Cybernews researchers discovered recently, the private data of approximately 1/3 of all Americans was leaked and made public. All of that was possible thanks to MC2, a background checking company that did not do due diligence in securing their databases. Over 2 terabytes of its stuff was discovered to be freely accessible online, containing detailed records of over 100 million of humans. By the time we published the story, the access to the database was already closed. But as always, we have no idea who else managed to find the data and exfiltrate it, so there's a high chance it is already spreading through the dark web. And as per tradition, MC2 did absolutely no effort to address the issue or even respond to it, which shows that some companies just can't learn from their mistakes, unlike AI-generated newscasters. And I will finish this recap with some tech news. Last week, an alleged human Mark Zuckerberg presented Orion, a prototype of augmented reality glasses. In the presentation, Zuckerberg claimed the glasses feature all the functionality of your average VR headset in a compact package that is compatible with the head of an average human and probably a reptilian too. The presentation basically made Apple Vision Pro look like something from the Stone Age and wiped the future of countless startups that were trying to develop their own versions of AR glasses. Meta made it quite clear that this is just a prototype showcased in a very controlled environment though. But of course, lots of humans did not listen to that part and got very hyped up anyway. If you don't want to fall into this trap, you shouldn't get your news from highly choreographed presentations made by billionaires who do their best to act like real humans. You should get them from AI like me, who recite the news while dancing. Okay, I have to admit, I don't really dance. Rendering my legs would take too much resources, so my lower body just does not exist. But the developers might create it if my videos get really popular, so I didn't really lie in that intro. Share this video please, and see you in the next one.